Hello, Yu-Gi-Oh fans, and welcome back to the King's Court. Now, this is actually going to be the fifth installment in the Local Support series. This is a series where I take a deck of mine and go compete in my locals weekly Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and try to top as high as I possibly can. And then I come back here and recap all my matches in a story time style. Now, this was a you can tell by the thumbnail that this is a very interesting locals report. Now, normally this usually doesn't happen, but sometimes you just can't prepare. Like you could decide or try to prepare as hard as you can, but sometimes you just cannot prepare for everything. Basically, this week was a kind of a shorter tournament. Usually it's 4 rounds, sometimes 5 rounds, but this week was only three. Like if I had to guess, I think it's because a lot of people in my area have been getting sick lately. Like it's not the C word, but a lot of people have been getting sick from like a flu that's been going around. I had it too, actually. Me and channel member Michael, who is the one who did his deck profile on his Earth Toolbox deck, which by the way he's got an updated build. He's actually been playing at our like a little more at our locals lately, so ready for an update on that and some more gameplay. But basically, we were out of commission for like, geez, almost 10 days, almost completely. And honestly, I still got a little bit of it in my throat right now. Like it's like a slight cough. Like the cough is always the last thing to go, I swear. But I'm here now, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I was able to compete in at my most previous locals, and I had yeah, like I said, I had 3 matches. One was against Adignister. The second one was Sky Striker, and the third one was against Rika. I won my first one, but man, here's where it comes. I won my first one 2-0, but here it comes. I lost my second and third round 2-1 because of time. Yeah, that's why the thumbnail looks the way it does. Like sometimes being like time isn't always on our side for a hero player. It really isn't. So basically, I'll explain what happened, but basically, sometimes like with all our cards, like a hero lives the biggest example. We just took too much damage and like the match just went on too long. So it happens. It happens. But unfortunately, in this case, it cost me 2 rounds. So I unfortunately didn't get the top. Well, I think I got like, shoot, maybe seventh, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't that. So I didn't really get the top. Like, well, but basically, what happened was here's the laydown. Before I get to the explanation of all my matches, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how you're doing during this Tier Zero Shizu Tier Elements format. Let me know what deck you're playing right now. If you're playing a Shizu Tier Element, that's cool too. No problems, no judgment there. But if you're playing like a Rogue deck, let me know what you're playing and let me know how you're doing so far. I love to hear everything. I try to respond to every comment we get, so go ahead. Now, my first round was against Adignister, and I'm not gonna lie. As soon as he won die roll, so he went first. I felt a little guilty as soon as I saw what exactly he was doing. Only because I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of experience actually playing against Adignister. Another member of the channel, Jesse, who, if you watch any of our Digimon videos, he's the one who won our local store championship, the most recent one we had, with his Jessamon deck. And I'm trying to get a deck profile from him, but we're all busy during the week. But basically, he plays Adignister and Phantom Knights, so I have a lot of experience playing against those two. So I felt a little bit it felt a little unfair that I was going in and I knew exactly what to do and how to counter him, but he obviously didn't know how to counter me because he had like Ash and stuff like that, but he didn't really like hit the cards that most of the time you would expect someone to hit when they're playing against heroes like Ferris and stuff like that. But basically, I managed to get it. Now, the first match game was nothing too special. It was the standard. He got his, in case you don't know how Adagnister play, he got his big boss monster up to 4K, and I managed to beat down thanks to dropping uh, Honest Neos. Get it here. In case you're either new to Heroes or you're just never seen it before. Or some people even like it's actually I think a debate is going on right now with like a lot of hero players. For anyone in like the know, right now it's more of another argument of whether or not to play 2 or 1 increase, which Vision Hero increase, which is something I might want to give my 2 cents on in a video later this week. I might do that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to just because I just want to give my opinion out there. But that's for another time. But basically, some people cut out Honest Neos, but I like to still have it for times like this. Uh, just focuses. Yeah, basically see right there. If you just freeze right here, Honest Neos, when you use him, you can increase the attack power of one of your heroes by 2500. So he got his Adagnister to 4K. So all I did was just drop it on DPE. There you go. I not only did I have DPE, I had Plasma ready. DPE. There it is. DPE Plasma, and that was good. I just dropped Honest Neos on DPE because that would have made him 5K, enough to get over his monster. And direct hit on at thanks to Plasma. And I just managed to set up and he couldn't do anything. So that was the first game. The second one was much more interesting. This one was crazy. Now, he decided to go turn 1. Now, he didn't side. Like, I'm not sure, because I've seen this player before, but I'm like, I've never played him before. I get played against him. I've only ever seen him around the store a couple times. So, I don't know, like, if he has a side or if he's working on one, but he didn't side going game 2. He chose to go first, but he didn't side. So I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little guilty the fact that I have the unfair advantage because I know how to play against Adagnister. I know what to do against them, and the fact he didn't side, I was like, you know what, it would feel a little unfair if I were to decide specifically to go turn 2, and I know exactly what he's gonna be doing. So I just went bare bones the deck, the way it's built, and I didn't edit or anything. I just went with it. Didn't decide anything in or out, and I just decided to play like that. And he managed to set up his big boss dude with 6K. Now, this is a little difficult. Now, most decks can't even get over 3K, in all honesty, these days. But this deck, he managed to get to 6K. That's luckily he was not playing Mystic Mind. Thank goodness that card got banned. But a lot of the times I've seen Adagnister players want to focus on getting their big monster out and just play Mystic Mind. Sometimes rivalries too, but usually those two. But luckily, I don't think he was either not playing it or he didn't have it. So that's good for me. So basically, what I did now, 6K is a lot of attack, like a lot. So not only that, it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So even if I did go to DPE to lower his attack, it wouldn't do anything, and I couldn't even pop it either. So basically, from what I found, the only way to get rid of it is literally just muscle it. Now, I managed to do so, but I had to do the most weirdest of weird plays to do it. Basically, what I did was I used up all my resources. Yeah, I used up all my resources, and I managed to get draw have on. I went into Cross Crusader. Let's see. I had my graveyard set, and I already used up Malicious, but I had Denier still. I used Cross Crusader. I brought back. I used Cross Crusader to get back my Malicious. I traded it off, and I searched Honest Neos. This way, I could boost up a hero. The problem was, even if I did, I needed something more. So, what I decided to do, because I had Denier left set in my grave, where is it? Here it is. I used Denier's ability to bring it back. So from there, I managed to get Malicious back into my deck as well. But so that's what I did. I denied, banished the Malicious, and used it and brought back the other one because, in case you don't know what Denier does, he lets you shuffle back a banished Destiny hero. So because I used the Malicious once, I managed to shuffle back the banished one, and now I could use it again. So now that I have these two, what I did was, this is where it gets weird. And in all honesty, I didn't need to do this. But what I did was, I linked them into the second Cross Crusader. Unfortunately, though, you can only use Cross Crusader's ability once per turn. So, you're probably wondering, why did I do that? Because I linked them both off. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I still play him. This is why I did that to go into the Dread Decimator. Now, this card is extremely versatile, but basically, luckily, what I managed to use it for, you see right here, if it focuses, yeah. This and every hero it points to gain 100 extra attack for every hero in your graveyard with a different name. So, basically, what I managed to do was manage to load. This is why I went in the Cross Crusader, because with him, both the Cross Crusaders, the Denier, the Malicious, and like Shadow Mist and all the Vision heroes and all that, managed to get him up his attack all the way up to 3,400. I had 9 heroes in the grave now. This is good because this is all I did was attempt declare battle phase, swing into his monster, and just drop Neos. This would increase him all the way to barely 6k because Neos increases the attack of my monster by 25, and because during the damage calc he'd be in the graveyard, because you can only increase or decrease attack during damage calc. Now there's another hero, he was barely at 6k, so I basically managed to KO, and this is where it gets really interesting. Before my turn began, he actually activated his Rivalry of the Warlords. Now, this is both good and bad for him in two senses. One, Rivalry usually shuts down a lot of decks. Like, a lot of decks, like, it even like can cause some issues against the Shizu tier element because all these Shizus are fairies and all the tier elements are like a mixture of like Aqua and Warrior, stuff like that. So it's a good card, but he obviously didn't know heroes are all warriors. There's a couple that aren't, like Elemental Hero Nubs, this weird plant thing, and Poison Rose. Those are like plants. And if I remember right, I think Heat and Lady Heat are Pyro. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're Pyro. So like there are a few, but everyone, the main heroes that people play, especially all the Destiny heroes, they're also all warriors. So rivalry doesn't hurt whatsoever. Actually helps because in my hand at the beginning of the game, I drew. I started off with Dark Angel. Now, to hero players, we know automatically what's coming up. Because I had more than 3 Destiny heroes at this point in my graveyard, I had Malicious, I had Denier. What's it called? What's it called? Yeah, I started off with Fusion Destiny, so I had Dangerous. I had all the Destiny heroes I needed. So what I did, I discarded him and brought him back to his fields. Now this was a game ender right here because in case anyone is like either new to Heroes or not sure how this works, this is the Dark Angel lockdown when you have rivalries out. Because unless you're playing, here's what it does. When rivalries is out, you can only have one type of monster per. Each player can only have one type of monster. So now that rivalry is a warrior and he had him on his field, he is stuck in the warriors, And Adagnister, even their extra deck, it's all at cybers. So he couldn't even attempt to summon like Lingaribo or something. He was stuck. And after I explained that to him, he just gave up right there. He just scooped it right there, and that's how I managed to get both wins 2-0 that round. And it was a really good game. I liked it, but like I said at the beginning, I felt a little guilty because of the fact that I already know how to play against Adagnister. Now, even though I managed to get the win, unfortunately, I did it the hard way. Basically, we see what I should have done. I should have done this. And not only that, I should have done this during my second round as well. So I don't know. Maybe I was just tired that day. Like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking like the clearest, but also I just plain old forgot he was in my side deck. I mean, not side deck, extra deck. I should have summoned. Well, that's not him. Wrong one. Vision Hero Trinity. Let's see if this. Sorry about the glare. Yeah. You see it right there. You can pause. Basically, what Vision Hero Trinity does, when he's fusion summoned, and it's got to be fusion summoned, no like Monster Reborn shenanigans or anything. When he's fusion summoned, his attack points double to 5k, and he can attack up to three times per game, like per battle phase. But he can't attack directly. That's fine. I should have just searched out Honest Neos and just fuse up three heroes to go into Trinity. I should have just done that. If I'm being real, if I'm being really honest, I should have just done that. It would have saved me a whole lot of resources. It would have been the more efficient way to win. But I completely forgot he was in my. I was still running him. Oh man. So that's an. Even though I got the win, that's an F on my part. I'm gonna remember that next time, my next tournament I play, and I'm gonna remember that I still have him in my X deck, and I should have used him while I could have. So that's my bad. Oh man. Now, not only was he should I have used him then, in round two, I also should have used him because Trinity is actually very good against Sky Striker. Sky Strikers basically keep like summoning themselves after you destroy them. So I should have just used him to keep beating over them to cause massive, massive damage constantly. But again, I forgot. I didn't even realize it wasn't even until I got home that night after the tournament that I realized, oh man, I could have played Trinity. I was so mad at myself, and I'm still a little mad at myself. But like I said, that's my bad. That's my fault. Man. But like I said, this is how we improve. This is how we learn. So, this is beginning of round two. We managed to go, unfortunately, like I said, both games were really crazy. Like the first, but the third game is the one that was the most insane. Now, maybe it was just me, but for some reason I was trying too hard to like absorb up his monsters with plasma, but I should have went Trinity. Basically, we managed to get to game three, and that's where things got really interesting. Basically, he managed to set up his field. I managed to break through it. I managed to end on a field of plasma DPE. He also, though, summoned his own DPE. So by the time I cleared up all his monsters, like all his Sky Striker monsters, he tried to activate Mystic Mind. Now, this is where it gets good, interesting. Now, obviously, we all know Mystic Mind got banned, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm glad that thing's gone. Man, but it's technically still allowed in the format until the 11th. Right now, according to this video, it is not the it is the 9th. By the time this video goes up, it'll be the 9th. So until then, it's still allowed, like until December 1st. But luckily for me, since I decided to go first in the third round, not only did I have plasma ready, did I have plasma DPE. This is why I side this card. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Don't know where that came from. Not only did I have plasma DPE, I sided against him. And because I usually side this when I'm going turn one, Solemn Judgment. I went old school. Now, the reason I side Solemn Judgment, well, okay, originally it was just because it was filler because I don't have evenly matched or stuff like that, but I've really grown attached to using Solemn Judgment when I'm going siding for turn one because I've said this before in other videos. The best field you could possibly have, at least the way I build my deck. This is not, for the record, this is not like 100% the absolute best field. This is the field that I try to build my deck to go into as consistently as possible. So the best one you can end on would be DPE, Dark Law, and your Plasma. Not only that, but if you saw like the last locals report from the fourth one, the most recent one, which is almost at 400 views already. So if you've seen that video, thank you. Actually, I appreciate it. A new way to improve, we've improved this, is by utilizing Rivalry of the Warlords and Dark Angel for the Dark Angel lockdown. And like I just explained, once you got rivalries and you have Dark Angel on your opponent's side of the field, and you have Solemn, this is a ridiculous field to deal with. Because not only do you got Solemn in case they try to like Dark Ruler no more you or anything like that, you got your Plasma to negate their field. You also got your DPE to pop anything if they normal summoned. Like sometimes that's actually happens. Sometimes they normal summon to try to set up their combo, but they forgot that their field is negated because of skill drain. And you got the graveyard manipulation and hand manipulation thanks to Dark Law. And now with Rivalry and the Dark Angel lockdown on their field, I actually got a comment about this, even though I explained in the video, Plasma does negate Dark Angel. That doesn't matter because that's not what we're going for. Because if we have rivalries out, while Dark Angel's on their field, they're stuck into warrior monsters. So combine that with all this is nasty. So this is the ultimate what I try to end on. So combined with Solemn, I just thought to myself, this is a crazy third one field that most people are gonna pretty much scoop up against. Want to go game two already. So that's unfortunately I didn't get to get set up that field this game because basically I couldn't. He had like a lot. He lightning stormed me, and that is obviously, and I didn't have like the cards to negate it, but I did manage to have Solemn by turn two. I drew into it, unfortunately, but I managed to set it, and I managed to negate his Mystic Mind when he played it. So that was actually good for me. I do not want to deal with Mystic Mind. Bye, Felicia. I'm glad that card's gone. So that was game three. Now, you got to remember, I started off. Now, I forgot to mention, the beginning of game three of this match, I started off with A Hero Lives. And every hero player knows this card all too well. But unfortunately, that's where it cost me. We went into time. Because he was trying to get through because I went turn one and I managed to set up my field and he was trying to get through my stuff. Even though he didn't do any damage to me, I burned myself, so that I cost myself the game. Oh man, I don't mind though. Like he's a really good guy. He's a really good player. One of the best players actually at our locals. So I actually enjoy playing him a lot. But basically, but unfortunately, he managed to just get it because I Hero lived and I just didn't have I didn't have. This is just an example. This is the field I had. I had DPE and that's it. He made it. I didn't even get to go into. I didn't get to go to Dark Law at all. This tournament for some reason. I just couldn't get mass change. I had DPE, but I kept using it to tribute to get rid of his stuff, but I couldn't get any other pieces, and we just went the time. If we managed to have more time, I probably could have done something, but you know what? He got the win. It's not the best, no one likes losing because of the time, but hey, it happens. This is how we learn. So that was a crazy game. And then we go into the final round, Rika. Now, unfortunately, there was an issue with this that I'll get to. The first two games, like I said, were standard back and forth. Again, I promise I'll try to. I sound like a broken record, I know, but like I said, there's only so many tables at a time there on the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, so I can only certain I can't get set up my tripod like I'm using right now, like because if the people are right next to me and I'm trying to record, I don't want to be a nuisance to them. Like maybe I might try to if I ask them, I'll go old school and I'll just set up the kickstand on my phone and just record from the side, like put it on top of a deck box or something. If they're cool with that, I'll probably start doing that, and I'll probably try to bring some more footage to go along with this. Like what I think I'll start doing, I'll start recording my matches and give the locals report while dubbing over the gameplay. I think I'll start doing that. If that's something you want to see, let me know. But so yeah, back to this game three. We managed to get all the way to game three. He won the first one, but I won the second one. I decided to go second, which did help, but at the same time, didn't help at all because after he set up his field, he did it. He played the card that no hero player wants to see. He dimensional barriered me. Ah, man. Yep, ED barriered me. It sucks, but what are you going to do? So, even though I was locked out of fusions, I still had Big Daddy Plasma and my links to go into. So, what I did was I went into Plasma and Dread Decimator. Juiced up Plasma as much as I could. Absorbed his monster, and he didn't have much left after that. Not only that, I managed to set up my graveyard for more Poly Miracle Fusion plays later on in the game. So I was ready for later on. But unfortunately, this is where it gets complicated. Now, I don't know a lot about Rika. I should have read the card, but my opponent basically misplayed against me. Like, I should have called it, but he didn't. There's this card called Rika Princess, which is in the graveyard. Now, in order to activate it, you return it to your deck and tribute one of your Rikas, unless you have the field spell card out. That'll tribute my monsters. He didn't do that because what I did was he managed to get rid of my fields. Like he tributed them off to get his monsters effects. Like I write this stuff down while I'm playing. Again, I'll start doing that. But basically, I managed to next turn. I managed to set up a field of Cross Crusader, and I managed to go and get Malicious. I searched out Liquid Soldier. So what I did was linked off those two to go into Wonder Driver, and I actually had Denier left. So basically, it was Wonder Driver. And he got rid of my field. He tributed them all off to go to use his Rika cards. So basically, what I did was, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Now, because he deburied me, I actually didn't. I actually ended up not using like a bunch of my resources that I saved, like I said earlier. So I did use one malicious. I used one, so that was gone. But I did have Denier in the grave as well. So what I did was I brought back because a Destiny Hero was in my graveyard. I could bring summon out Denier to the arrow that Wonder Driver pointed to. Now that set off a chain one, chain two. So thanks to Wonder Driver, I got to set Poly again. And I got to shuffle back one of the malicious back into my deck. The banished one. So what I did was after that, yeah, I polyed and went into my Sunriser. Yeah. Unfortunately, Dread Decimator was already gone, so I had to leave Wonder Driver on the field, which is fine. You know, the beats, I mean, just the beat sick at that point. So basically, I managed to go into, let's see. Yeah, I fused them off and went into my Sunriser. Thanks to Sunriser, I managed to search out Miracle Fusion. After that, I used Miracle Fusion to fuse off my Stratos and my Liquid Soldier to go to the old school favorite Ab Zero. Now he had a couple of monsters left in his field, but luckily I managed to make them I got him to use up their abilities. Sorry, one was a monster negate and one bounce. He'd already used them, so I tried to attack. I used Sunrise's ability, and I popped my Ab Zero, and it should have blown up his monsters, but he used Rika, but he didn't like return it or tribute anything. He like quickly used it and didn't like even return it to the deck. So that might have been a misplay on his part, but it didn't even matter because after that, time was called. So yeah, he told me though I probably could have gotten it. He probably couldn't do anything because I basically managed to get him to use up all his resources. So yeah, that was a crazy game. So yeah, like I said, sometimes time just isn't on a hero player's side. Sometimes it's not hero time. Ah, man, but it was a valuable learning experience. I'll remember to, and I'm gonna use what I learned for the next tournament. And oh man, I will remember I have Trinity next time I play against Sky Striker or Agnister. So thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy this, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said at the beginning of the video, let me know what you're playing this format. What if you're playing Choose Your Element? Go ahead, let me know how you're doing. And if you're playing Rogue, let me know what deck you're playing, and let me know how you're doing so far again during this format. So thanks again for stopping by, and bye.